Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video. Today I'm doing another impromptu FAQ and Errata review where I go over the latest FAQ and Erratas live. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. Do you agree, disagree? Do you like the changes? Do you hate them? Let me know. And if you want, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But let's get on with it. Look at this. Look at all these lovely things. Look at them all. All right, let's start off. There's a lot, so I'll try and be quick. So remember, asterisks show something new, so we'll go through the compendium because apparently there were some compendium changes. There's been a change for Tyranids. So for Lurk, if it is change the relevant part of this rule to add, if it is in cover or has and either has a conceal order or is ready, one of the additional dice can be retained as a successful normal save as a result of cover, regardless of any rules that treat the operative as having an engage order such as Vantage. So if you had a vantage point, if you're on a vantage point, you kind of negated Lurk, but that has been changed. Really weird. It took them over a year to fix that, but at least it's done. All right, let's go over the core rules. Charge actions. If an operative has a rule that allows it to perform a charge action while within engagement range of enemy operatives, it can move out of engagement range of enemy operatives, but must still finish that move within engagement range of at least one operative. So basically, you can kind of dash out of combat for free, but you have to end in couple with someone else. So it's pretty solid. Nice clarification there. For controlling objective markers, during operatives activations, determine control of an objective marker and tokens at the start and end of each individual action. So I guess this means you have to end or start an activation on an objective or token. So you can't, for example, move through a point like you're playing Seize Ground, move through an objective, not end on it, and then technically, decontrol it and then continue on. You actually have to start or end. So that's a nice clarification there, I guess. Odd they haven't clarified that you can hold or cannot hold two or more objectives at once. Then there's something about Spec Ops campaigns, but good for them. So kill zones for basically Gallodark, right? Wall traits. Change the fourth point to read distance cannot be measured over or through wall terrain. You must measure around it. However, measure distances to areas of the kill zone through walls, e.g. the center of the kill zone or drop zones, but not objective markers or tokens. What does this mean? Some TAC ops now actually work in Into the Dark. So this is cool. I mean, we knew this was coming, but that's nice. Close quarters, various rules. Add the following. Some tactical deploys allow operatives to be set up outside of your drop zone, e.g. Sneaky Git and Dimensional Translocation. In a battle that uses close quarter rules, you cannot do so. Instead, you can only use such tactical deploys once per battle at the start of the first firefight phase, and they allow one operative specified by the deploy that is wholly within your drop zone to perform a free normal move and or operate hatch action for any other operatives are activated. So this is good. Forward deploys are broken, no matter what some people try to say in Into the Dark. So, it still keeps forward deploys usable, but no longer broken, right? So letting someone move up and operate a door for free is pretty good. Annoyingly, Hunter Clade have to stay concealed while doing it, but Into the Dark, it doesn't matter too much. Commandos get knocked back a bit. Really sucks for Wyrmblade, who now can only deploy one guy when their strat lets them do two. But I like this. It's a good change. So for the designer's commentary, let's go down. If an operative's characteristics are modified during an action that does not impact the action it's currently performing, for example, a movement characteristic modified during a normal move as a result of being injured, no, unless otherwise specified, apply the modifiers once the action is performing is complete. It's fine. Some rules clarify that a modifier should only apply if an enemy operative is activated with an X of a relevant operative. What does this mean? Do not apply that specific modifier unless the operative is activated with an X of the relevant operative. In the example, movement would be the specific modifier. So just some nice clarifications there. Does an action performed when an operative hasn't been activated count as an activation, e.g. Overwatch or a free dash action from Recon? No. So there you go for some people confused about that. If an operative carrying an objective marker or token loses the ability to perform pickup actions during the battle, what happens to that objective? It must drop it. Rip anointed, but, you know, makes sense. Not too much of a nerf there, more of a clarification. If an operative performs an action during another action, e.g. operate a hack during a normal move action, when can they be interrupted for things like Phobos track target? After the operative performs any action, even if another action is still ongoing. In the example, you could interrupt them after they operate the hatch or after they fully perform normal move. So nice clarification there. I expected they would just wait until the whole sequence ended, but, you know, this ruling is fine otherwise. More important for guard, you know, taking guard actions than track target, but still useful. The plant ban attack up. An operative that cannot perform the pickup action can be selected to carry the banner. No dogs carrying your plant banner. When using the central, oh, who cares? For Duel of Wits mission, do players have to select different objective markers to be the primary objective marker? Yes, that's my question. Glad they clarified it. So that's good. Annoyingly, didn't clarify what happens if you control multiple objectives with a single operative. In Gallodark, the wall trait says operatives cannot move through or over walls regardless of any other rules. Can I cut through them? Do you what? Do you really mean this? Or can operatives move through rules such as a result of rules like breach or breach point? Yes, we really mean this. This is like some kind of meme answer. As unique as it might seem, allowing certain operatives to move through walls breaks a fundamental feature of Killzone Gallodark. Therefore, it's prohibited in order to maintain the experience and balance we feel appropriate for the kill zone. Yet, they still allow barrage attacks and airstrikes in Gallodark. So I appreciate them sticking to their guns, yeah? But you need to ban airstrikes, right? It makes no thematic sense, and you're using thematic reasons to justify banning other rules and mechanics, which is fine, right? You just can't ignore the elephant in the room. In Killzone Gallodark, does the hatch of an open hatchway provide cover, and is it obscuring? Yes, treat cover that goes underneath it as crossing. So doors are important. Question: in the Killzone Gallodark, how do you resolve rules that require an operative to be within a certain distance of heavy terrain? Resolve this by only using pillars and walls ends, excluding the end of hatchways and heavy terrain from Killzone Gallodark supplements, e.g. the Ancient Erratas. So, does this mean doors don't provide obscuring? I've seen people point that obscuring is like you measure from any point of the terrain, like it's, but this FAQ kind of contradicts obscuring from doors. So I guess doors don't obscure now, or they do. This is very confusing, so thank you. I love the clarity for Into the Dark. Close quarters. How does the guard action work when an operative must perform a shoot action with a specific weapon, e.g. bottle discipline, whatever? The operative can perform a guard action so long as the relevant weapon is selected if it performs Overwatch or point blank Overwatch during that subsequent guard attack. So it's fine. Can an operative equipped with a ranged weapon that has the heavy special rule perform a normal move, fall back, or charge action and then perform a guard? If so, can it use heavy for the guard? Yes. There you go. Someone went really far to try and argue this with me, but it's clarified. So there we go. If an operative incapacitates an enemy operative in a hatchway fight, can rules that take effect when an incapacitated within combat with an engagement range or black still work, e.g. the Rob and Ransack tack up? Yes. This makes no sense, GW. What are you doing, right? Like, they should have said no. This is because you're not in engagement range. Whatever. It's fine. Whatever. Can an operative perform a hatchway fight action as a guard attack as the hatchway fight action is treated as a fight action? Yes. Some nice clarification there. If I interrupt an enemy's operative activation with guard, but then cannot complete a guard attack, is the operative still on guard? Yes. There we go. Now we'll go on to Corsair Voidscarred. Close quarters. For the purpose of plunderers, how do you determine the closest objective marker for one or more hatchways? Always determine the closest objective marker as if all hatchways are open. Well, at least it works, right, guys? At least there's no problems with Into the Dark. So for the Commando Errata, blow it up, tack up. This tack, oh my gosh, they banned blow it up. Oh wow, they are banning faction tack ups for Into the Dark. This is impressive. And for their designer commentary, can the bomb squig score points to capture ostrich and infiltrate? No. Damn you! This is old, but damn you! So for Legionary, close quarters, they've banned dark desecration. Like, this is good, but wow. And then for their designer's commentary, how do interruptions work after an operative performs an action? Work with the perpetual aggression strategic ploy. Treat them as a separate action, therefore the corn operative can be interrupted after fighting in combat before or after it moves for perpetual aggression. So just a nice specific answer there. Ooh, Pathfinders, close quarters. For the purposes of determining if one less attack dice is rolled as a result of condensed environment, when a drone operative is protecting a friendly operative for savior protocols, do you draw cover lines to the protective operative or the drone? The protected operative. So that's actually a nice buff to drones for Into the Dark. Does it make Pathfinders better? Yes. Does it make Pathfinders a great choice for Into the Dark? Well, no. No, not really at all. Okay, Phobos, here's that. So, Infiltrator, Helix Adept. Can't heal himself anymore. People are going to be really tied up about that. And then the Vox Breaker changes action to an ability. It doesn't cost any action points. So his Vox Breaker thing is always active. Now you might actually use him. The Incursor Mine Layer. It had stun, right? Which is pointless. So they've changed it. Interference. Each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack with this weapon, in the roll attack dice step, if you retain any crits, the target cannot move any further. Subtracts 1 from the remaining action points the target has for that activation, if any. If it's outside the target's activation, subtract 1 from the number of action points it generates in its next activation. No, it is not a modifier. So there's actually a huge buff. It's super stun now, which is really good because something needed to work for this kill team. And shot grenades are now 2 equipment points from 3. You'll still never use them, but it's odd that they use the FAQ to give better buffs to the kill team than the balanced data slate. And for their FAQ, if I interrupt an enemy operative with track target, but then it cannot complete the overwatch, can I track target again? Yes. If you change the Incursor Marksman's order to perform an unresolved overwatch action, change it back. So this basically means now Phobos Strike Team don't cry when they play against novitiates. So this is a good change. Let's look at Veteran Guardsman. If a tactical asset is used, but there are no valid targets for it to be resolved, can I cancel the asset and use it again later in the turning point? Yes. I don't even get this question. Like, what does it mean? Like, how can you use it, but there's no valid targets? Isn't that just passing? Like, are you saying you can use it and then pass? I don't get the point of this. Void Dancer Troupe. No changes for the Errata. No changes for the designer's commentary. So for the Warpcoven, so change the Occult Talisman's ability to read each time the operative uses a wound as a result of a mortal wound, shooting attack from psychic power on a 5-up is not lost. I don't know if that was a change. And then designer's commentary. With the changes to the Exalted Astartes ploy and the shoot balance data slate, can a gun operative perform a shoot action then a guard action? Yes, if 1 additional action point is subtracted to perform a guard action. Okay, that's cool. That kind of opens up a lot of avenues for the kill team on Into the Dark. Nice. Wyrmblade. For the purpose of Cult Ambush, when a Wyrmblade operative makes multiple shooting attacks for the shoot action. This is old. Why are they putting it as new? That was confirmed last FAQ. Gellerpox. Vulgar Fright Cursed. Oh, this is just about, him being unique. Doesn't matter. Imperial Navy Breaches. Navis Axejack. Change the power weapon to a melee weapon? So it's not a power axe, it's just a melee weapon. Okay, that's weird. Navis Endurance. Change the relevant part of the final sentence to read, unless an enemy operative is at least white higher than it. So you can't always breach if someone's too close. Intercession. If a rule treats an operative as being injured regardless of any other rule, does Methodical ignore it? No. Sucks to be you, Methodical. If an Intercession operative is incapacitated during its activation, can I use the Wrath of Vengeance tactical ploy freely, or do action restrictions still apply? Action restrictions still apply, so with Bolter Discipline in mind, if the operative has already performed 2 shoot actions during that activation, you could not use Wrath of Vengeance to perform a 3rd shoot action. So people were telling me this is a nerf to Intercession, but this is only applying during its own activation. So I guess people were somehow... Oh, this is a bit Into the Dark, yeah. So if you die during your own activation for like guard or track target, you know, I thought this was just for the whole turning point. So it's still not horrible. It's actually a nice nerf for this, but it's a bit confusing unless you realize that it's during its own activation. Elucidity and Starstriders. If a privateer support asset is used, whatever, it's the Vet Guard thing. When using the well-drilled tactical ploy, can I select another ready friendly operative as required, but then subsequently use a privateer support asset instead? No. So you can't move someone into position, then airstrike them. And then the last one is just for narrative play. Or Farstalker Kin Band. This is the last one. Let's see what they get. Piercing Shot and Toxin Shot. Unless the operative is equipped with a Kroot rifle. This has the red range special rule. I emailed this again because technically you could give the Kroot pistol guy special ammunition and he would have unlimited range on his pistols. Oh well. And for the designer's commentary, does the mercenary contract tactical ploy allow you to select attack op from any unselected archetype? Yes, basically, which is not even close to rules as written. This is just... It feels like they saw the win rate for Kroot and were like, oh, let's let them have it. Maybe this will help their terrible win rate. So it's a good change, right? But it doesn't make any sense unless you go, it's because their win rate is so bad. So it's a good change, but yeah. And everyone else is out of date. So overall, this FAQ is okay. Like, it's really confusing. They missed big questions, namely like what happens when you use a strategic asset, especially for Elucidity and Starstriders on a vantage point. Does that asset get the benefit of vantage points or not? I mean, it's good that, like, the good things are the Into the Dark changes, right? They've banned some faction tac ops, which shows many questionable things about Into the Dark, and they've clarified a few things and made walls slightly better. But the good thing is they killed like forward deploys effectively. They're still powerful, like they're not bad, but they're no longer broken, right? And that's a good thing. I do dislike how sometimes the FAQs and erratas are turning into like pseudo balance patches. They really should drop at the same time as a balanced data slate. I mean, I like the Phobos changes. It's just, why aren't these balanced? Why is this dropping at the same time as the balanced data slate? Really confusing. Some of the changes are very pointless, personally, like the Corsair Voidscarred stuff. I mean, like, it's just the singular changes, right? They're not great. It's not the best FAQ, but it's not the worst. Like, the only weird thing is it like partially dropped yesterday and there was no article with it today, so we could get more FAQs next week if they drop an article, but who knows, right? This is hopefully not, right? Maybe we could get some more FAQs as time goes on, but the good thing is they're answering most questions, right? Like, even though I said, oh, they answered mine, that's because, like, if you submit an FAQ, they'll read it and hopefully answer it. Like, still disappointing they also didn't, like, mention what happens when you control multiple objectives with a single operative. Can they control both or only one? You know, maybe that one where they said an operative decides what they control at the start or end of an activation, so maybe you can only declare one at a time. But if that's the case, it's not very clear. But, you know, at least they're helping, right? Like, they are trying to fix stuff. So, like, even though I would have liked to see more, I still think it was a good FAQ overall. But it's definitely not the best we've had, but it's nowhere near the worst. As I said, I just dislike how it's not dropping at the same time as balanced data slates, and how the FAQ is starting to turn into a pseudo balanced data slate in itself If it is, you should just drop it at the same time as the balanced data slate, and then no one can really complain. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's any other questions people needed answering. Like, it's just a shame they mentioned Hyrotech Circle and the Kazakin, but didn't answer much about them, namely for the Hyrotech Circle. But, you know, this is written like probably last month or something, so not the worst thing, but not the best thing. But that's pretty much it for me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of all the FAQ changes. Do you agree, disagree? You know, let me know. Interested to see what people think, like especially about the Gallo Dark changes or the amount of Gallo Dark changes needed. Like, do you think it was enough or was it not enough at all? And if you want, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly thank my patrons. So for my Adepts of the Crit, I have Samaru, Screech, Sam, Ninja Lee, Kenzie, John Thomas, Captain Murder, Dave, Daniel, Average Joe 27, and Adzik. And then for my Veterans of the Crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much. Your support really means a lot to me, and it helps support the channel and improve what I make. That's pretty much it. Another impromptu article, video, whatever. I've recorded this 11 p.m. UK time, Friday night, fireworks everywhere. It's really cold. I'm very tired. I've done 2 day shifts in a row, 12.5 hours. I've got a tournament tomorrow. I have like a Horus Heresy review to write. This video will be coming Saturday morning, so it'll be fun, right? Oh, and I'm playing at a tournament tomorrow. Yeah, London finals for London Wargaming Guild. So battling out with Hunterclade instead of Pathfinders, because I wanted to test out a new team, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. You know, right now we're playing Kill Team, so send me your energy, and maybe it'll be enough to help me win the London final. But yeah, until the next FAQ, remember you can always roll a crit, no matter what erratas or FAQs may say.